back again, and we're going to be going through some of the things that are probably running around in the back of your head, but you haven't been willing to raise your hand and ask questions about so far. And that's just going to be stereotypes, man. Anybody and everybody knows stereotypes associated with mobile homes. So this class is going to be geared towards addressing them, bringing them out into the open, as well as helping you overcome these stereotypes, but helping you also explain to your buyers, sellers, and to your neighbors and friends what the hell is really going on with mobile homes, because we've all heard trailer trash, tornado magnets, et cetera, et cetera. The goal here, though, is truth. I mean, mobile home investing might not be sexy. It's not HGTV, flipping houses kind of stuff, but it is returns. And if you're an investor, returns is what really matters, and mobile homes are where it's at as far as I'm concerned. So let's go ahead and just jump right on into this, man. This one made me laugh. I can't lie. I laughed. I wondered if I should put it in there, but if that makes your feelings get hurt, then you probably shouldn't be investing in mobile homes anyways. But this right here just cracks me up. I mean, when you think about like mobile home stereotypes, you're thinking about stuff like this. We got all this trash laying around. We got this stupid spray paint on this mobile home that says, "Don't laugh, your sister's probably in here." We got the little chairs hanging out. We got the trucks, trailers, and everything else going on around there. That is what we're thinking of a lot of times when we start thinking about mobile homes, man. There's just not a whole lot of sexy to mobile homes. We're thinking about fire hazards, the quality of work, trailer trash, everything else in between. Let's face it, some of it's true. And the reason that we're talking about it today is because while there is truth to it, there is also some stereotypes that we need to burn off and get out of our minds and learn how to think past that. So let's deal with one of the big ones. Fire hazards. Nobody wants that to be their home. Nobody out there, stick-built, mobile home, anything, wants to come home and see their house in flames like that. That is not a good feeling. But why have mobile homes gotten attention over the years for being fire hazards, little like matchboxes? Why is that the case? Well, let's talk about that. Where is this stereotype coming from? Because a lot of the time stereotypes, come from some level of historical, past, present, whatever you want to call it. Where is it coming from? Prior to 1976, which is when HUD was introduced, we've talked about that before, there was no regulation at all in regards to the standards that these things were built in. I mean, they could have built them out of whatever they literally wanted to build them out of, and there was nothing regulating it. And when HUD came in, what they did is they put in a considerable amount of guidelines to provide a quality home to the end consumer, because you don't want mobile homes to be considered matchboxes. They're just not safe. So HUD steps in and they start doing some stuff just like this. Factory installed fire alarms near the bathrooms, kitchens, air conditioning systems, stuff like that, kitchen fireplace. The home must be easily escapable for people that are disabled. You need to have at least 2 egress doors. Kitchen and other cooking areas must have ventilation systems. Spacing between mobile homes must have a specific amount of space, so that way if one catches on fire, that doesn't turn into a domino effect. Fire extinguisher in service and working order. And use of flame retardant insulation. These are just a small list of examples of things that HUD has done to increase the fire protection systems of these homes, things that were not in place pre-76. So if you're hearing about tornado magnets, fire stuff, a lot of that comes from pre-76 HUD homes. While there are still problems in the early 70s, going into some of the 80s, most of the homes built post-80 are fairly solid homes, and any of the homes I would say built in the 2000s are, in my opinion, in regards to how safe they are, on par, as long as they're installed to the manufacturer's guidelines, on par with the stick-built home. I don't really think that you're going to find much difference in the ability for them to manage fire and hurricane winds and stuff like that. So what are some of the other ones? Low quality. Well, right here, remember earlier we were talking about pitched roofs and stuff like that? Well, if I'm looking over here real fast, do we look at the pitch of this roof right here? There's almost nothing there. It's just a really light curve. I'm looking at the design. I'm coming down the roof line here. I got this little bit of a pop up here. That's probably a mid-60s home. So was that built prior to 1976? Yeah. And guess what? Without any regulations in place, without any guidelines going into place, some of those older homes are definitely going to fall into the low quality side of stuff. But let's look at a few other things. Let's look at a few other things to consider when we are looking at mobile homes, manufactured homes. Where does this stereotype come from? Well, they are built on assembly lines. They are modular, so all the equipment going into them is bolt and play. And we are essentially looking at low-income housing for the most part, so we are looking at less expensive material. While we say low quality, there is demand for low-income housing and affordable housing. Mobile homes fit that. So if I'm looking at putting countertops in, should I put Formica in or granite? Well, if I'm trying to tailor to that low-income buyer, I'm probably not putting granite in. Although some things with manufactured homes have changed over the years. Other things to take into consideration, and this is a really big variable that you may not consider or think of when you come into the whole low quality aspect of stuff, is these homes have to be moved. And if they have to be moved, they need to be lightweight. So when they select material for mobile homes, they do everything they can to shed the weight off of these homes. Using lighter material gives them the ability to transport these homes. So lighter material will often come with not being as rigid, etc., etc., etc. But we're looking at cheaper materials, honestly. I mean, they're low quality, and I would like to replace low quality with affordable, because if you start putting in expensive stuff, the affordability gets out of line, and once the affordability gets out of line, you're losing the demand for the market. But there is a demand for cheap. You know, with cost of living, rents, and many other economic factors, the need for low-income housing is in demand. So while low quality is there, you also need to remember there's a reason for the quality being low. If we threw a bunch of expensive stuff in there, it would drive the price point beyond the low-income housing demand, and that's where our niche really is when we're dealing with manufactured homes. But what has been done about this? Check that mobile home out. I mean, that right there might be a modular home. That may not necessarily be a mobile home, so that might be a bad example. But mobile homes in general, I've seen some pretty fancy-looking mobile homes. What about that one? I mean, that right there is no beauty, but it's definitely not a bad looking place. And what about some of these other stuff? Like, look at the inside of this home. I mean, that's not bad. We've got some either marble or marble look-alike stuff in there. We've got some nicer in flooring. We've got some nicer cabinets. And while that right there may not be the Taj Mahal or, you know, the grandest of homes, it's still a hell of a lot better than the typical mobile home you've seen in the past. So even though you do have low quality homes, you will find some niche markets that provide you some higher end homes, and you can definitely go out there. I've seen people offer up to 5 wide mobile homes. So you've heard of single wide, double wide, triple wide, quads. I've heard of 5 wide mobile homes. So you can get pretty mobile home mansioned out whenever you start looking at customizing these homes. Ugly. That right there is a manufactured home. That is a manufactured home. And I don't know of too many people that would argue about that manufactured home. Where does the ugly aspect come from? I mean, you know, where does it come from? Media portrayal. Anytime we start talking about X, Y, or Z and the media has an opportunity to put a mobile home front and center on the news, they're gonna do it. They try to just sensationalize it to a point. But pre-1976 homes, subpar construction all day long. You've got to remember that date, 1976, is very important. And then limited construction options due to its inherent mobile requirement. There's only so much you can do to a home that has to be driven down the highway. But what about that? You know, is that a mobile home? Is that not a mobile home? Surfing the internet? You know, I don't know, but surfing the internet, that has a mobile home feel to it. And imagine, is that much different in regards to design than a mobile home? It's still probably 12 foot wide and 60 foot long, but that isn't a bad looking house. That may have been a container home, that may have not been a container home, but could that potentially be a mobile home? Yeah, so ultimately the design is up to you. The design is up to whoever buys it, whoever has it built, who has it manufactured, but it is what it is. What about this one? And this is the one we hear the most, tornado magnets. Tornado magnets. Let's face it. You know, a tornado hits a mobile home park, there's going to be shit slung from one end of the mobile home park to the other. There's just going to be stuff everywhere. But where does this come from? Where does this tornado magnet, you know, stereotype come from? Media portrayal is just outright sensationalized. Like, think about this. Mobile homes are not attached. They are attached to the ground per install instructions and everything else, but they are raised up off the ground on blocks, and they're installed in that fashion. And you've got all that skirting that goes around the bottom of the mobile home. When a tornado hits a mobile home park, even if every one of those mobile homes stay exactly where they're supposed to stay, you've got all these porches attached to them, and you've got all this skirting around the bottom of it. And if you've got 150 mobile homes in a park, and that tornado comes through and doesn't move a single mobile home, that skirting's coming up and those porches are coming up, and they're going to get thrown everywhere. So we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of feet of mobile home skirting just blown up in the trees and all over the place. And while that mobile home park may have ultimately had very limited damage, when you're talking about a helicopter view of a mobile home park with skirting everywhere, it looks like it got destroyed. So the news channels, they sensationalize it. They're gonna, when a tornado hits, they're gonna jump in on that mobile home park. Mobile homes nowadays, though, far, far, far better and far safer than what they used to be. They are lighter materials, get blown around more, making mobile home parks look very damaged from aerial footage. That's kind of what I was talking about in regards to skirting, porches and stuff like that. Many of the states with the highest, so yeah, here's another piece. Many of the states with the highest number of mobile homes happen to also be the states with the highest number of tornadoes. So you have an area that has lots of tornadoes and has lots of mobile homes. It gives a lot of opportunity for the media to come in and be like, wow, look at this mobile home park that got destroyed. Well, if you really look at it, maybe it wasn't the mobile home park that got destroyed. It's just skirting that's just blown everywhere. And skirting, like I said, that's that little piece of plastic that goes on underneath the mobile home between the ground and the home to kind of keep the exterior of the home with a nice little appeal to it, keep stuff out from under the house. But you'll get a lot of that. So what's been done about it? What's been done to fix some of this? We talked in our previous lessons about wind zones. We are now at level 1, 2, 3, and I guess they have implemented a level 4 wind zone now. Those right there tell me that if I have a wind zone 4 area, that I'm only allowed to install wind zone 4 homes. Wind zone 4 homes are designed to handle extensive wind loads. So that alone creates a significant increase in pre-1994. Pre-1994, any home could be installed anywhere. But once these wind zones start getting implemented, you can only install a wind zone 4 and a wind zone 4. You can only install a wind zone 3 and a wind zone 3. And that gives you a much higher safety standard because these homes were designed to handle those kinds of winds when they were properly installed. They need to be properly installed. That goes back to the tighter installation requirements and inspections. A lot of states are now inspecting the installation of mobile homes to ensure that they were installed to the manufacturer standards and or the state standards. And a lot more oversight coming in. You know, state regulatory bodies, the HUD development, all of these things are coming together to make sure that these homes are, you know, quality assets that people can live in safely. So just take into consideration all of these things. Going through, we got some Joe Dirt here, trailer trash. You know, you can't think about mobile homes and not think about trailer trash. They just kind of come hand in hand, and you know, you get these stereotypes all the time. But let's think about this. Where is this coming from? There are definitely different mobile home communities, just like there are different stick-built communities. Like you've got houses, real nice neighborhoods, okay neighborhoods, and downright dangerous neighborhoods. It's no different with mobile home parks. You can go to a mobile home park that's like a retirement community, green acres, beautiful, wonderful, lovely place to be. You can go into other mobile home parks where you don't feel like you can even drive down the driveway without being scared. So take into consideration that just because you have one bad mobile home park doesn't mean they're all bad. Mobile homes are intended to be low-income housing. You know, it is the truth. You know, mobile homes are often lower-income housing, affordable. And when you do have lower income affordable housing, there is going to be the potential for creating neighborhoods around lower income people that aren't necessarily being managed well. And when you bring in a low income community that's not being managed well, you're going to have a lot of problems in it. And that's just never good for you to have. So moving on. What else do we got here? And then just the media portrayal of mobile home parks. You're not seeing the great, beautiful, wonderful mobile homes on TV. You're seeing all of the trashed out neighborhoods going on TV. So it just comes back down to, you know, take it as a whole, but overall, mobile homes have just had a bad rap for many years. But take a look at that community. And that's a mobile home park community. That looks really nice. We've got nice pavement. We've got nice sidewalks, beautiful trees in the front yard, nice landscaping, good grass, nice, well-maintained homes. That right there looks like a pretty damn good community to me. I wouldn't consider any of that to be trailer trash. Now, is that going to be your average community that you're going to? Probably not. But remember, different communities, different standards, different people. So in closing, while you've probably had a lot of stereotypes drilled into your mind through media portrayal and or some of your own personal experience over time, seeing what you've seen in the media and, you know, maybe some of your own personal experiences, Remember, this is an investment. Investments boil down to numbers. Mobile home parks, mobile homes themselves, great investment opportunities. I truly believe that if you're out there and you're looking at these things, that you have a great opportunity in mobile homes. And I just needed to help you address some of those. So while those stereotypes are there, remember, there's been a lot of effort going towards cleaning these mobile home parks up, cleaning up mobile home safety, and making sure that the products that are being delivered are quality, well-built homes that just overall are good places to live. So I appreciate you watching this one. We're going to move on into the next slide, and I thank you for tuning in. If you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, I know we've gone through these first several videos are kind of like the lower level, entry level intro stuff. Remember, we are getting into the meats. We're not gonna go through this whole thing and just give you some of the base level stuff, but I have to help get you through this, because what happens if you embody some of these stereotypes yourself? You know, you need to figure out how to overcome those, because you're going to be dealing with these people, you're going to be selling these things, and if your thought process is nobody wants to live in them, they're tornado magnets, they're matchboxes, and they're just trailer trash, you're not going to do well in this business. So, you know, if you had some of those, hopefully I gave you some reasons to believe that these are no longer the case, as well as some pointers for what to watch out for moving forward. So I hope you enjoyed this class. Drop some comments below. Make sure you tell your friends that this is where you're getting this information when you're out there killing it. I appreciate you for tuning in. Have a good one.